Good morning. I'm A.R. Ray, 1990 Milligan graduate. Well, I came to Milligan for baseball. I grew up in this area, so I knew about Milligan. I knew it was a good school, but I didn't really know a lot about it. But kind of going through a recruiting process, coming out and meeting Coach Jeanette and Coach Hollowell, just felt very comfortable here talking to them, and just felt like it would be a good place for me to do what I love, playing baseball, while also getting a good education. Relationships. Anybody who's played team sports, we'll talk about the guys that they played with, and there's 3 or 4 guys that I still stay in contact with today. So I saw Coach Jeanette last winter, hadn't seen him in a long time, and it's just like yesterday, you just pick right up where you left off. So those relationships that you form playing on a team are very special. So well, any individual accomplishment is obviously nice, and I really didn't know that until I was getting ready to do this interview, that I was the only one to be a first team All-American. So thinking back on that, there's been a lot of good baseball players come through here over the years, and so to be the only one to be a first teamer is obviously very special. But kind of getting back to the to the team, you can't set individual records without a good team in a team sport. You can be the best pitcher out there, but if they don't catch the ball behind you and they don't score you any runs, you're not going to have a lot of wins. So the individual things obviously are nice to look back on, and to see some of those records still holding up today with some good players that have come through here. It's nice. Well, obviously it's every kid's dream to play in the major leagues. Every kid grows up envisioning themselves in the World Series, and so to see that come to fruition and actually have a chance to play in the major leagues was very special. It's eye-opening once you get there. You're obviously good enough to get there, but when you go to spring training and you look down the row on the spring training mounds and you see 10 other guys that are just as good or better than you, it's kind of a wow moment. And that's when you start to think about, okay, what am I going to do if this doesn't work out? So that's my advice, to young players, is go for it. I would, gosh, if I hadn't given it a chance, I would have regretted it, forever. So I'm glad I did. But having a plan for what you're going to do after you give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, that's my advice to guys. While they're playing, you got to start thinking about that while you're playing. I'm a physical therapist now. I work for Appalachian Orthopedics. So as soon as I finished trying to make it in baseball, I started physical therapy school at the University of Tennessee, and I've been doing that now for 20 years. It's a very rewarding career. I get to rehabilitate everything from 8-year-old kids to 88-year-old little ladies, and I love my job, and things could not have worked out better for me post baseball. Well, it gave me a very good academic foundation. The neat thing to me about Milligan was, while I had professors who they loved sports, Dr. Wallace, Dr. Gee, Dr. Wade, they were kind of my favorite professors, and they were out playing tennis and pickleball, and they were very athletic minded. So while they were supportive of athletes, they also didn't cut you any slack. And so after Milligan, really, graduate school wasn't that hard because I had such a good foundation. So I think Milligan is a very good marriage between athletics and academics. There were many days where I was in the lab in biology with my uniform on, that as soon as I got done, I was heading down to a game or practice. So there was You know, it's hard being an athlete and missing class and traveling and that kind of thing, but they always worked with me to make sure that I got caught up with everything, and so that very much prepared me for academic life after Milligan. Well, a lot of things have changed, but a lot have stayed the same. You know, just the drive out this morning, turning into campus, you know, it's just seems like yesterday. So, you know, as soon as you drive by your dorm, or, you know, immediately good memories of your life at Milligan, you know, come back, and just nothing but a positive experience, you know, for me at Milligan. So, you know, I came to an alumni game a few years ago, and, you know, being down on the baseball field with the guys again, it was just like 25 years ago. So, very nice to come back. Being part of a tradition, Milligan has a long tradition of equipping young people to be productive members of society. A lot of good people have come through here and gone on to be very successful in whatever they've done, and that's always good to look up to that and see those people who have come before you and want to uphold that tradition. So to me, to, you know, be a Buffalo is to every day try to uphold what Milligan means, its ideals and the high standards that it you know, attempts to instill into its students. Well, you know, it's another individual accomplishment that is obviously nice, you know, to years down the road to look back and see that what you have done was good, and that people who are looking back at former athletes, you know, to pick you out and say that you're one of the best to come through here is a nice feather in your cap. And I do have to mention that I would be remiss if I didn't mention my family. You know, I've been very, very blessed after Milligan. Like I said, in my career, I love what I do, and I have a wonderful family. I have a daughter who's a junior at the University of Tennessee now, and a son who's a junior at Science Hill High School, and a wife of 25 years, Kelly. So that's another thing that, you know, Milligan prepared me to go out into the world and raise a family and do things in the right manner.